The creation and development of learning landscapes came from a critical moment in our region where development was beginning to increase and there were greater and greater needs to improve education without access to significant funding and budgets. In land conservation and in education, there is this concept of forever that really is a foundation of why we do the work that we do. In land conservation, it is in this term in perpetuity, that when we conserve land, it is to make sure that it is there for current and future generations. In education, there's this concept of lifelong learning. We want our students not just to pass the next test, but to have a deep love and affection and commitment to learning. And if you combine those two together, you have forged a powerful thesis. Getting kids outside on a regular basis is core to learning landscapes. The proximity of just a couple of minutes away from the classroom is essential for a teacher to feel that it's possible to take the kids outside for some meaningful instruction and education. Now, not every school is going to be like C. Roy Carmichael Elementary School here in the Upper Feather River, where you actually have some national forest right next door. But many of our campuses are completely built out with homes and businesses, yet we've been able to find places, a nook, a niche somewhere that we can build a simple seating area that gets the kids outside and the teachers guiding them into another meaningful outdoor experience.
Having learning landscapes areas next to schools is invaluable in order to get students outside on the land, learning about places where they live, and to be able to tie real life into the curriculum that they learn every day.
What Learning Landscapes has done for us is given us the understanding of how we can get into the woods frequently. Learning Landscapes has identified for us areas in our environment that are close enough to each of our schools that we can take kids out to them. We can go often, and because it's close, we don't even really have to plan too much for it. We generally do permission slips that cover us for the whole year. Teachers take the kids out a lot.
For some of our teachers, they have had a lifelong relationship with the outdoors, and it's very simple, just providing access to a place near the school. But for others who don't come from that background, it's a nurturing process to coach them, to support them, to give them more training, and to help the teachers believe in themselves as the guide for their students. Once that self-belief exists, then the possibility of daily and weekly visitation and experiences for the students can occur. And that is when the magic of learning landscapes really takes off.
Seniors, let's go!
The Feather River Land Trust funded this trail because we knew that in this day and age, kids can be very distracted by social media, by video games, and we wanted to provide the teachers a place they could get the kids out in nature. We believe Learning Landscapes can be a model for other land trusts to really look at, to help connect kids to places in their region where they're working. The unique aspects of Learning Landscape include the permanent conservation of land, which land trusts have expertise in, and really is unique in using the teachers as the deliverers of the education. So we think it's a very sustainable model, and given that it's conserving lands that are right next to all the schools, these lands will be used regularly by the kids.
Well, I guess one of the main reasons I decided to do an easement with the Feather River Land Trust and the Learning Landscapes program is that, you know, I grew up here in this area. I have had the privilege of being able to work on the land and see the positive impacts humans can actually have on the land, not necessarily only negative, which I think a lot of people have that connotation. So when the Land Trust originally approached me about possibly doing an easement, I was interested, but I also had some reservations. And then at one point they came to me and talked about the Learning Landscapes program, which was geared towards kids, education, agriculture, and conservation. And I thought that was just a great combination.
What's really important in my groups that I donate, make big, large donations to, is to be very personally involved. Learning Landscapes has taught me that, and I now apply it to other groups as well. In Learning Landscapes, I have been invited to not only attend teacher trainings, but to actually participate.